Every day, aircrew and ground crew based at RAAF Edinburgh outside Adelaide are preparing for that next P3 Orion mission. These are the men and women who help save lives, like that of round-the-world yachtsman Tony Bullymore and Thierry Dubois. But the members of the RAAF's Maritime Patrol Group are not only focused on rescues. In fact, they spend most of their time defending Australia and its interests. But to do this, they need to spend hours planning their mission, working out the best tactics to achieve their goal. And while Orion aircrew are often looking for people conducting commercial shipping, and also others involved in illegal activities, such as those poaching fish from our waters, today they are searching for something much more ominous: hostile submarines. For exercise purposes, these subs are usually imaginary, a random set of coordinates plugged into the aircraft's mainframe which simulate the manoeuvres of the enemy. But if necessary to play for real, Orion crews are prepared. A combat-ready P3C Orion is armed with harpoon missiles, pretty lethal aerial mines and Mark 46 torpedoes. In anti-submarine warfare and anti-surface warfare, it's often torpedoes that do the dirty work. But finding the sub or ship, even with the Orion's state-of-the-art equipment, is not always an easy task. So, how do they do it?
Well, the mission for the crew today was to work with the Navy off the east coast of Australia. Specifically for us, it was to locate a submarine. To do that, I can't go into the tactics in too much detail, but essentially we drop sonar buoys into the water. They act as microphones, listen out for the submarine. They then send signals back to the aeroplane, and we can use those signals on board to come up with a rough position of the submarine. Today we got out there, got contact with the submarine after about 10 minutes. We tracked it for a further 10. We were very confident of the position of the submarine, and we then started attacking it. To attack it, we got down to 200-300 feet, and we spent a lot of today down at that height, and came in on attack runs with 2 attack runs using Mark 46 torpedoes. And feedback from the attacks were that they were pretty accurate.
The Orion is equipped with a vast array of surveillance technologies, including infrared cameras, radar and sonar buoys, which when working together, suck data out of the sea like a giant sponge. The Sensor Employment Manager is responsible for coordinating the use of the Orion surveillance equipment and data collection.
Well, some of the sensors that we do use to find submarines, etc., are the magnetic anomaly detector, which acts like a very large metal detector. Apart from that, we use infrared detecting set, which is very similar to a black and white camera and allows us to see at night time. So we can find submarines, survivors and also surface vessels.
But analysing the signals and other data is a challenging task for the aircrew, and that's why such intensive training is necessary for the airborne electronics analysts, commonly called the back-enders.
To start as an AEA, we initially do a 12-month training course at 292 Squadron, where they teach us how to learn about electronic warfare, acoustic warfare, as well as radar. Our job is to look at all the sensors aboard the aircraft, gather all the information, pass it through our SEM, which gets passed on to the TACO to make a tactical picture.
The information gathered is then sent on to the Tactical Coordinator, or TACO. The TACO's role is pivotal because it is his or her responsibility to assess the information forwarded by the sensor operators and then to formulate the crew's tactics.
As the TACO on board the Orion, I get the information from the SEM, the acoustic operators, all the operators on the aircraft. Basically, the information comes through to my screen. I then analyse the information and apply appropriate tactics to achieve the aim. So, for example, for anti-submarine warfare, basically we're trying to get buoys around the target. So once we do that, we can find out where it is. And once we find out where it is, obviously we can drop a torpedo on it, which we do from this station. Anti-surface warfare, which is obviously anti-shipping, we can basically avoid flying inside any hostile missile engagement zones of any ships that might be about. Once we work out what we've got on the surface, we can then apply harpoon missiles to take out any hostile shipping.
And what's particularly interesting about this Orion crew is that they sport an unusual attribute. Their crew captain is Major Chris Martin, who is currently on exchange from the Canadian Armed Forces.
Well, I'm the exchange officer on squadron from Canada, and I'm also the captain of Crew 1. My responsibility as captain is to ensure the safety of all 17 people on board while we're conducting missions such as anti-submarine warfare or anti-surface warfare. My role starts at the planning stage, normally the day before, also during the conduct of the mission, to the debrief at the end of each flight. The responsibility also relies on me to ensure that each weapon or each store is relieved in a safety manner and in accordance with our procedures.
As you have seen, the Royal Australian Air Force's P3 Orion squadrons are not only keen to save lives, they are intent on protecting Australia from any enemy that may try and reach our shores. However, we've only told you part of the story. Perhaps next time we meet, we can show you how the Orion crews conduct surveillance over 1/4 of the Earth's surface.